Philippines, they won't let their Filipino buddies leave the country. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Cleophie, your Morena girly. For today's video guys, let's talk about my immigration experience last night for my supposedly first international trip to Thailand, arriving at Don Muang Airport. But before we proceed with that guys, I sincerely apologize because I haven't been active on this account lately, but I have decided and committed that I will be posting vlogs and videos soon. Hopefully, as soon as possible, I can stream on my YouTube account. So, let's talk about it guys. So I do have a flight going to Bangkok last night guys, but unfortunately I got denied by the immigration, so I wasn't able to take that flight. It was around 2 a.m. arriving at probably 5 to 6 a.m. So I do have my boarding pass here just to show you that I do really have the flight. So this was it guys. The thing is that they also stamped it here, immigration compliance, which means I do have stuff to comply before I'll be able to take another flight going out of the country. So what happened guys? After checking in my baggage, I went directly to the immigration after also receiving my boarding pass together with my passport, and then I lined up and it was my turn. There's 4 cubicles and each cubicles consists 2 immigration officers. The lady guard pushed me and told me to line up there on one cubicle that only consists of 1 lady officer, but there was another officer behind her standing. So I went there, it was my turn, and she asked me questions. So this is where the interview started. She asked me where's the destination. I told her Thailand. She asked me how many days will I stay in that country. I told her 7 days. She asked me about my return ticket and I told her I will be returning on December 10, and I gave her my copy. I do have a printed copy of my ticket which is here, and at the same time I showed her my soft copy because this girl is prepared, of course, like guys. And anyway, so let's proceed. After that, she asked me what's my source of income. So that's where everything started to fall down guys. My source of income. That's where she asked me the question. And I told her this is a self-funded trip. My source of income, I don't have any job. This is all from my savings. I told her this is self-funded trip. This is all from my savings. And then she asked me a question. Have you worked before? And I said yes. And she asked me what's my job, where did I work. I told her I was working as a customer service representative in an American company before for a year, and I handed her my certificate of employment since I do have a soft copy, and she asked me that. So I gave her that, I showed her that, and she asked me when was the last date that I went, or like I resigned. I told her it was August 27, 2025, which is just recently, let's just say 4 months ago. And yeah, that's everything started to fall down. So she looked at the guy behind her, and he was like, because I can't hear that because there's a clear glass, you know. So the guy was probably asking her, why is it taking so long, what happened? And the girl relayed probably the information, and the guy was like something like that. And then he went over and asked me, are you unemployed? I said yes, confidently, because that's the truth. And after that, he instructed the girl, and the girl went out of the cubicle and ran towards somewhere, another table somewhere, and then she came back with a form. Once I saw the form that she's holding, I know it deep inside that OMG, this is it. Because I know what the form is for. It's either I'll undergo a second interview and then I'll pass that fucking second interview. I'm sorry for my language guys. Or I'll undergo the second interview, or I'm not gonna pass that interview. So that's it. What happened? I wasn't able to pass that interview. But before that, she told me, she handed me the form, and then she told me to fill the form up, and I'll have to go to the table there. So I went to the table there, I got the ball pen, I filled the form up. But honestly guys, what I'm feeling during that time that I was filling up the form, I'm fucking shaking. Like honestly, I was shaking. My hands, my legs, everything, my body, my whole body was like this. I don't know, guys, but honestly, it's ridiculous. So after filling up the, you remember the guy, the second officer that was behind her, he instructed me to like also notate what's my purpose of travel, what I'm gonna do there, and how many days, when will I return to this country in the Philippines. Only make it short, like probably 2 to 3 sentences, somehow like an essay, but not really. And then I did everything. So the second interview started. There was a camera to record the second interview, and he told me that it will be recorded. And then he was like, I'm gonna ask you questions based on these informations in the form. I said, okay. So he started with, so you are unemployed? I said, yes. And you're going on a trip solo? I said, yes. And he asked me for my return ticket. I gave him my return ticket. He asked me about the receipt. The thing is that I don't have the screenshot of the receipt because I wasn't able to take a screenshot. But I have the booking invoice and stuff like that. But he insisted to get the screenshot. And my GCash transaction history, it doesn't show there anymore because it's already been piled up, with some other transactions. So fast forward, he also asked me how many days I'm gonna stay there. I told him 7 days. Do you have a hotel booking? I gave him my phone, which consists the Airbnb booking that I have. But the problem is that it's only for 2 days because I am planning to divide my days. Like, I'm gonna stay here for the first couple of days. Two days, and then the next couple of days I'm gonna stay in this place, and vice versa until I finish my 7 day trip. And then he was doubting that already, and he was like, you don't even have a proper booking of hotel. And I told him, yes, because I will look for a better places when I get there. In that way I can also better explore the island. And he was like, island? Where are you gonna stay in Thailand? I said, in Surat Thani, Koh Samui Island. And then he asked me, how are you gonna get there? I gave him my booking ticket, another booking ticket which I left at his table. It's a printed copy from booking.com. It's going from Bangkok to Koh Samui, Thailand. Yes. And then also he asked me for my itinerary. So I gave him my itinerary that was listed on the notes. But the problem is that it was a short itinerary because I highlighted it for myself. I do have 3 itineraries prepared, guys. It's a PDF. Secondly, it's a full itinerary that includes the time, what to do at this time, stuff like that. And the short itinerary. I gave him the short itinerary. And he was like, on the day 2, you're just doing zip line. I was like, yes, zip lining for the day 2. That's the highlight. But even so, I still have to do stuff after that. Like roam around the island, drive around the island, go to cafes and stuff like that. And he was like, no, you're just gonna do zip lining. I was like, no, it's just a highlight. Told him like that. And then I took my phone out. I gave him another itinerary, which is the full itinerary that includes the time. I told him, this is my full itinerary. And he looked at me, did you make this? I said, yes, I made that. And he asked me for the booking dates of those flight tickets from Cebu to Bangkok and then Bangkok to the island. And I told him I booked the Cebu to Bangkok on November 9 and then Bangkok to island on November 12. On November 12. And he made a face, like something like that. Because I understand him, guys, that it was honestly somehow like a red flag because I booked it like probably like, let's just say last minute, but it's not really last minute because it's a month before the trip. And then the thing is that, yeah, I understand that it's somehow like a red flag. So the thing is that he looked at me like, are you for real, girl? Like, no, I was just there like trying to like, and then after that, guys, he was like, why did you book this last minute? Why didn't you just prepare this like 3 months, 6 months, a year before the trip? I told him the reason why I booked it on November because my passport got delayed. The application for my passport was so complicated and the delivery got delayed. And once I got my passport, that's where I started to book everything, from the hotel, from the flights, from the club activities, and other stuff. I even showed him my club activities, and he somehow accepted it. But the thing is that he started to say something like, I couldn't document what's your source of income. And I said, it's from my savings from the previous job that I have before. And at the same time, I'm doing sideline, which is selling my clothes, pre-loved clothes online. Online. I'm sorry. And then he was like, I couldn't document that because I need papers that, proving that you are selling. Like DTR, like business permit, but I couldn't have those papers, guys, because it's just selling pre-loved clothes. It's not like a real business, but I'm planning to have a business. I think that's where I started to feel like, oh my god, like it started to sink in, guys, that this is not really for me. And I honestly, my eyes, it got so teary that time, but I'm forcing myself not to cry because I cannot. Not in the public, not in front of the officers. No. And after that, he went through my bank. He asked me to open my bank. I opened my bank with no hesitation. I showed him the money. He saw the money. He asked me for my bank statement. I gave him my bank statement because I had to have my bank statement here and my bank certificate showing that, oh, unfortunately, he didn't return it. He had it with him. But I put it here and I gave it to him. I do have my bank statement for the whole 6 months. Previous transaction of my bank. And you can see all the money there coming in and out. And he was really hesitant with the source of my money, the source of my funds. Honestly, guys, it's savings and my sideline. I even had to show him the proof of transactions that I have with my customers online, with selling my clothes and everything. But he didn't take it. He didn't buy it. He was like, no, I still need documents. Okay. And he started saying that Thailand is somehow like a dangerous country to travel solo as a female, especially a 20-year-old girl like me. And he was like, you're just 20-year-old and you're gonna travel alone. Do you have any families, cousins, relatives living in that country, working in that country? And I told him, no, I don't have any relatives there. And he was also asking me, will I meet someone in that country? And I said no, because that's the truth. I'm not gonna meet anyone in that country. And also at the same time, even if I'm gonna meet someone there, it's not gonna be a good thing to declare that you're gonna meet someone there, because that's also a major red flag for the immigration officers. Going forward, he kept on repeating that question, by the way, in the middle of like asking me other questions. After asking me two to three different questions, he will ask me that question again. Probably ask me that question more than 5 times, I guess. If will I meet someone there, something like that. But no, I'm not gonna meet anyone there because it's my solo trip. And I told him, supposedly this is my birthday gift for myself on November 3rd. But again, the reason why I booked the flight on December 3rd, because my passport got delayed, the process, the application, and the delivery. That's the main reason. And I can't even find any other reason, guys, because that's the truth. So, moving forward, he started to tell me that I'm gonna give you 2 options. That's where it started to like, sink in that OMG, I'm not gonna be able to fly out, guys. So he went out on the table and told me that he's gonna give me 2 options. And he gave me this paper and he explained this paper. That's the paper. He told me, guys, here it says tourism under sponsorship. I should have a sponsor. It can be a family relative, mother, father, cousin, uncle, aunt. But they will have to take the same flight as me, leaving Philippines, going to that country. Secondly, they should be in that country working, OFW, or traveling, telling or inviting me to go to that country with them. That's the sponsorship. Or I'm gonna be working again. Employment for employment. Like He even asked me, why did I quit my job? And I told him it was so toxic for me, which is, that's the reality, guys. I quit my job because I felt like I don't belong here. This is not for me. I quit my job, and that was 4 months ago. And he asked me, will I not like go back to go back to that job, or like find another job? And I told him no, because I'm planning to apply or to enroll in the university. Supposedly it should be this year, but unfortunately when I resigned from my job, it was already too late, and the universities are not accepting late enrollees anymore. So end up I'm just at home selling some stuff, and that's it, saving money. And he insisted, he kept on insisting that I should have a job, I should go work. Proof of ties, going back to Philippines is my return ticket, and it wasn't enough for him that I'm gonna return to this country. Secondly, guys, I don't have any motive to go to Thailand, work, apply for a job, because why will I? I'm not gonna go there. And he asked me what's the amount of my pocket money. I'm gonna tell you how much is it, and it's 50,000. And overall, I spent 60,000 for the preparation, the tickets, and other stuff before leaving the country. So overall, guys, I spent 60,000 without leaving the country yet, and I do have 50,000 in as my pocket money. And he couldn't believe that. Like, I'm not gonna believe you something. I'm not gonna believe you face something like that. So I accepted my fate, guys. And while he was discussing this stuff to me, my mind was literally somewhere else, but still listening to him. At the same time, my ears were ringing, and like it's starting to like sink into me that okay, this is it. And I'm about to cry. Told me that I'm gonna go to my to the check-in counter of Cebu Pacific, get my baggage there, and they'll discuss the refund stuff about me, about the tax. So before that, guys, before I went to the check-in counter for the Cebu Pacific airline, I went directly straight to the toilet, because that's it. Tears started to flow down my eyes, and I went to the cubicle and I cried out my eyes, bawled out my eyes, because my first supposedly international trip was not for me. And that hurt me because I spent so much money on it, guys. The preparation, I bought clothes, which is not really necessary, and it's not your fault, guys. It's my fault, because I don't know why, but I grew up thinking that I need new clothes for any occasion. And also at the same time, I'm selling them after I wore them and I got good pictures with wearing the clothes that I bought. I sold them. So one reason that I need to buy new clothes for the occasion and stuff like that. And the nails, the lashes, everything. I mean, it's not necessary, it's my maintenance, but like still, the tickets, the activities, I was able to get a refund from the activities and the hotel bookings, which is just probably around 4,000 peso, and I still am waiting for the refund for the tax. You know, the tax for the flight, which is just 1,500, something like that, 1,620, I guess. So overall, I probably will get 6,000 or 5,000 in total refund, but 55,000 went to waste directly, which also like really hurt me, honestly. So that broke my heart, and I had to accept that. And today is another day, and I am planning to go on another trip, but in the Philippines, because Philippines, they won't let their Filipino buddies leave the country. And if someone's gonna want to invite me to leave this country and travel somewhere, I have my passport, guys. You can be my sponsor. We can travel Philippines and travel to somewhere. That's it, guys. Also, I do have a tips for you guys. Just show up confidently. Answer the question directly. One question, one answer. That's it. For me, I was confident enough. I was smiling, just like this. Yes po. Like, honestly, very demure. But yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't really for me. And I have to move on. I have to accept that. So, again, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do appreciate your time, and see you on another vlog.